Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Is Anna from General Hospital the target of a very well-known face? Will Sam carry out her threat to Gladys as well? On General Hospital this week, we witnessed some developments in the Pikeman storyline and endured more of Sasha's torture at the hands of Dr. Montague and Gladys. Fans are still unsure of where the Eddie Main storyline is going, and Maxie seems to be moving on up and out. Let's simply dive right into this week's events in Port Charles. We are many. We are pikemen. Anna was able to trace Sunny, the WSB, and pikemen back to Valentin using a nice dandy graphic. Valentin disclosed that even he had been hired to work on some logistics for the WSB and pikemen as a result of their revolving door approach, which allowed agents to move between the two groups for years. Numerous fan theories contend that Valentin is pikeman, and it seems as though the show is using this as a red herring. I mean, someone sets fire to Anna's home when Valentin is called away for an ELQ water emergency. How practical. I just can't see them making Valentin bad, especially because Anna and Valentin are one of the few well-known couples that fans are still enthusiastic about today. The show already has enough to deal with. What with the irate Sprayna fans? Additionally, given the friendship Val has developed with Laura and the recent family bonding scene with Spencer, Ace, and, yes, even Esme, it is difficult to imagine them turning Val against the light. As I mentioned the week prior, Valentin should assume leadership of the Cassadine family and guide them toward a brighter future. Many viewers believe that the Pikeman plot has been a failure overall, despite the fact that all the important characters we are aware of are involved. This is partly because it is difficult to be interested in what essentially amounts to an invisible foe. This needs to be a very huge adversary, but who? Some unnamed rogue agent from her past that we may have never heard of targeting Anna just doesn't fly. I made a wild guess last week that Cassandra Pierce might be Mason's ruthless overlord who is looking for information on pikemen. But it remains unclear who is working for the WSB and pikemen against Anna. I simply keep going back to Alex, whose body was never discovered and might have been one of the persons pikemen would have long since recruited, unless I'm missing someone. She would also undoubtedly want revenge for Peter's death, adding a twist if Anna believed she had harmed them by working as a double agent. However, some fans would prefer Alex to remain dead. Given how frequently Frisco has been mentioned lately, they might bring him back with some information to strengthen the plot and pique viewers' curiosity. More. Sunny now has a Yellowstone competitor. When will Sasha begin receiving electroconvulsive therapy? In that how much more can we torture Sasha? Plotline. This week's development was not entirely unexpected. Sasha is being persuaded by Dr. Montague that she is using drugs again and that they have returned to her bloodstream. Surely the tablets he gave her were drugs, right? Or are the medications that he has been injecting into her IV? In any case, the audience is also being tortured in addition to Sasha. This story has changed from being tragic to occasionally being hard to watch. Josh Swickard's Chase, real-life wife, who played nasty nurse Janice at Ferncliff, was a rather entertaining break. Making Janice a huge admirer of Chase and Blaze was a wonderful hint to their off-screen romance and the fact that she adores her singing husband. The audience could almost feel the looks on Cody and Brooke Lynn's faces as they saw just how damaged Sasha was in her cage. If the purpose of the show is to make us experience suffering and heartache, then they are succeeding in that endeavor. But Nickel, that's not why we're all here, and this isn't an AMC theater. The actual world has often been our getaway for many of us, and this story is beginning to resemble one of those tragic Lifetime movies taken straight from the news. Who should attend Bobby's funeral? Sam is obviously on Gladys, and maybe Cody will be even more determined to get Sasha out of there. I find it unbelievable that Sam didn't sock Gladys right in the kisser, or at the very least throw her into the pool as she threatened, based on the way she spoke to Scout at the pool. Like Cody, she now understands Gladys controls who sees Sasha and is aware that something is off. Cody has already admitted to Sam that he thinks Gladys is taking from Sasha, and Sam assured Gladys that if she actually did some investigating into her, something would come to light. Come on, Sam, use your investigative skills to get Spinelli to dig into Gladys' Nettie Maine's rock and roll. This week, the Nettie narrative received a lot of airtime, but many fans are no longer very invested in it. As I mentioned last week, the temporary scribes are probably to blame for the story's repeated plot points, drawn-out discussions, and stretching. We can only hope that they'll get everything under control soon, or, better yet, that the writer's strike will end. He left for the High Cider just as Olivia seemed to be connecting with Eddie, where Carly and Olivia wound up attempting to recreate some of the good old days for them. I did enjoy how terribly Eddie improvised his pickup song while he was trying to flirt with Carly. Details: Maura West expands her family. Since nothing positive ever occurs at this pub, it was not surprising to see Mason there hitting hard on Olivia. He reacted so swiftly because he thought Eddie running to save her was a sign that the real Ned was still around. Unfortunately, Mason didn't manage to knock Eddie out of him during their fight, but I still enjoyed watching Carly slug Mason with the heavy bottle. I found it surprising that Mason wasn't taken into the PCPD with the rest of the gang, but he subsequently told his cuz how he was able to escape undetected. What, there are no cameras in that bar? Oh, I see. I guess that explains why they weren't able to quickly catch Esme there purchasing the burner phone. The commotion at the station once more came off as fluff, with Carly's refusal to let Sonny sign her out, leaving her stranded there waiting for Joss, or anyone, to arrive to sign her out as the big cliffhanger of the week. Nevertheless, let's hope that Eddie attempting to assist Olivia will mark a turning point in his memories beginning to return. Additional storyline ideas. Trina seems to be the one who was able to convince Curtis to exclude his family, which makes perfect sense. When she reminded him of his initial post-surgery declaration that "I need my daughter," I thought it was a fantastic piece of writing. On the other hand, Portia, how many times can she express the same awful sorrow for not telling Curtis the truth earlier while weeping? Not to mention how rude she was when Spencer arrived to assist Trina in moving back home, and she forced him out without giving him a chance to say goodbye to Trina. This week, Liz and Finn continued their peculiar dance, which many people find uncomfortable since they think they're acting like kindergartners. This is not how grown-ups should behave. Whether they are sending "will you go out with me" notes, or passing information between strangers by feigning ignorance. When Finn and Liz are with their children, they appear much more naturally on film. And while we're talking about kids, I'm sorry that Cameron hasn't visited us at all this summer. The date of Nina and Sunny's wedding has so fluctuated from tentatively this fall to possibly Valentine's Day 2024, and it is once more uncertain. Decide on a day so that everyone is aware of when the SEC's dirty secrets will be revealed. In other Nina-related news, it was funny to hear her phone Ava in a panic that Sunny had left in the middle of the night, and hear Ava remind her that's what mobsters do. When Dante accompanied Charlotte to see Lulu, many viewers predicted that Maxie would soon move into their former home, and that is exactly what is going to happen. Even still, it seems possible that Lulu would be making a comeback given that they mentioned that she had been transferred to General Hospital, and Maxie mentioned that it had been 3 years since her accident. Read more about the possible change to Carly's romantic life. Gregory's problems are getting worse, and he can no longer conceal them. It's simply too soon. Even though this has all the makings of a dramatic, drawn-out soap opera death narrative, this appears to be the program trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice, since we still remember Mike's tragically similar demise. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any updates.